What is up, Moose Knuckles? JJ back here from Run Pure Bets with another free pick for you. This time it's going to be Major League Baseball for Tuesday, July the 6th. Game is going to be played between the Baltimore Orioles and the Toronto Blue Jays. Going for the Jays is Steven Matz, and for the O's is currently a question mark. Current betting spread is also currently a question mark. I'll talk on this in a bit. I'm going to give you my line versus the expected line, I assume, as the opener. Make things a little more fun with these videos, right? Anyway, so this has been a fun little weekend for baseball action at Run Pure. Nice to land the O's team total over 3.5 from Friday in the third inning from the solo vid. Moves the solo plays to 19-9 plus 10.45U. Then when I went 1-1 on the live show from Saturday, losing some pennies of vig. But then another huge Sunday on the show, back-to-back weeks with Joey and Holden. Collectively, a nice little 5-0-1 with me going 4-0, Joey going 1-0 on his, and Holden pushing the White Sox bet. Also marks the 5th straight profitable weekend for these live preview shows in baseball. I'm old enough to remember when these live shows weren't profitable for a brief glimpse of a few weeks. So it's been nice to get these rolling again. The solo vids have also been good, but been a bit of ping pong match. The last few weeks going 1-1, I think now 3 straight weeks. I mean, nothing to cry about, but hoping to kind of push through this little plateau. Time will tell. Now, look, I hope you all enjoyed your 4th of Julys. So like I always say, guys, gambling's fun. But always find time for family and friends or any one or thing that's important to you. Holidays like July 4th, give you that opportunity to spend added quality time with, people or things that are important to you. So I hope you all took advantage. I personally spent a lot of time with my Vaseline jar. But I mean, is there really any other way to do things? All right, on to the play here. Now, why I said this would be a little more fun is I can kind of give you what I think the line's going to be, and then why I think there's going to be value in what that line's going to be. So look, we know Steven Matz is going for the Jays. We don't know who's going for the O's yet. With the extra day off, they could run out Matt Harvey, who would go on his normal rest. Or they could go back to a bullpen day. If it's Harvey, I'd open this line at Jays minus 170. On the road, and if it's a pen day for Baltimore, I'd actually open at Jays minus 165. A little cheaper there if it's a bullpen day on my end. Now, I don't think this is going to encompass enough value, though, relative to the O's and how they're hitting. That actually capped these about 15 cents different than what I expect the opener to be. Just to be clear, those first group of numbers I gave you are what I expect these numbers to open at, not so much what I have at myself. Also expect this total to pop at 10.5. So a total of 10.5 with a home team being plus 150. Should yield a team total of 4 as a pick'em for the Orioles. Anything cheaper, and it will be an absolute smash spot if it's 3.5 at a little extra vig, or 4 at a slight dog price. Either way, we'll stick with 4 as an estimate on what this number will be. Still juicy spot. Now you can create 4 if your book gives you 3.5 and 4.5. Like if it's like 3.5 minus 140, 4.5 at a pick'em or plus 100. You can create 4 at minus 120 in that scenario. But again, just a hypothetical. For those that have watched any of these videos the past few days, should know exactly where I'm going here. That's Orioles team total over 4 runs, minus 110. And I know depending on the time you're watching, you might be like, oh, this line isn't even out yet. I know. We're doing things a little different here, right? Giving a little extra future perspective. Either way, I do expect this total to be 4 when it does come out. Now, this bet went 2-1 for us this weekend, going the O's to score 4 runs in the last 3 games. And this is just another juicy spot. I don't think enough goes into this line, as I said, what I expect this line to be. Of course, it's an egg on my face, right? If the line opens up and the Orioles are like plus 120, right, and their team total's 4.5 at heavy vig. But I don't expect that to happen. So either way, so why the O's bats in this spot again? Well, first of all, I don't want to sound like a broken record. I know I've given out a lot of Orioles, we'll call it data, if you will, if you want to use that strong of a term. On why the Orioles, first of all, are underrated in the market right now. And not so much wins and losses. Again, I like betting team totals because it lessens the variance that I've been dealing with this sport this season. I only have to handicap half of the game, which means a decent amount to me. Keep in mind, the Orioles lost a few games to Los Angeles, but these bets went 2-1, right? So, I don't want any part of this Orioles starting rotation, bullpen, but their sticks are very live. Many may not know this. You may actually know if you've been listening to these videos the last few days. Orioles are the second best team in baseball versus left-handed pitching. Now they draw another one who has, walk and home run issues in Steven Matz. So O's team, up and down, righties all over the place. They put a ton of pressure on left-handed pitching. And of course, they're led by my boy at the top, Cedric Mullins. I've been knob-slobbing Mullins for quite some time now. And look, deservedly so. Dude is just mashing this year. Bona fide stud in fantasy, too, if you're into that kind of thing. Anyway, yes, this Orioles team may severely struggle against right-handed pitchers who are good versus right-handed bats, but they've basically mashed everyone else. Okay, we get it, right? The Orioles bats are going to be live here. Let's talk on Steven Matz. So Steven Matz is interesting, right? So I'm old enough to remember, first of all, this is the first time Steven Matz, believe it or not, in his career that he'll be facing the Baltimore Orioles. I'm old enough to remember when some folks felt Steven Matz would be the arm to pop out of the Mets' big five at the time. Remember that starting five for the Mets, though, was Harvey in his prime, Syndergaard, DeGrom with the long hair, Zach Wheeler, and Steven Matz, right? Then the Mets leave Harvey in one inning too long against the Royals in the World Series, and the Mets ship has kind of been sinking ever since, well, except for Jacob DeGrom, of course. So yes, the Mets, this was the lone lefty in the bunch in Steven Matz. Look, he always throws hard. He's always thrown hard. Good array of pitches. Never really reached his true promise, though. Don't get me wrong, respectable arm for a few different seasons, or had with a few decent seasons, but he's always been plagued by walks and the home run ball, and yes, right-handed bats. As for this year, it's been no different than what Matz has done his entire career. Below average versus right-handed bats, walking too many guys, still has the home run issues, sub 16% home run to fly ball rate, line drive rate of 23%. However, soft contact rate of 20% is actually really good. It's one of the best numbers of his career, this year in particular. K rate about 9 per 9, which is right on par. And he's actually pitched far better away from home this year than home, without Toronto not really having a home field, though. And it's tough to tell how much this truly means versus it just being like a small enough sample size. But the numbers are what they are. Matz also does not eat innings, as he's gone 7 innings, a grand total of 0 times this year. As I said earlier in the year on Matz, when he's pitching well, you really can't expect him to falter much. But when he's not pitching well, it's even harder to expect the opposite. Matz is in quite a bad tear recently, 17 earned in basically his last 28 innings of work. And it's not like things are going to get easier for him with this start. This game's in Baltimore, where it will be a warm ening. Temperatures tipping near 100, and it's going to be humid. Slight wind blowing out 10 miles to right center, 10 miles, imagine. But of course, wind's always subject to change, so how much can you really make of that? This park in Baltimore, plays like one of the best hitters parks in baseball in warm weather. And parlay this with a pitcher in Matz who gives free passes and is vulnerable to the home run ball. And yes, juicy spot to expect some runs from the O's here. Chat on the pen for the Jays, who've been plagued with injuries. So Chatwood and Baraki are out, which is critical at the back end of this pen. Romano is still one of the best relief pitchers in baseball. He's their closer. But everyone else who comes in before him, quite sketch. Pair again this with Matz, who rarely pitches past the 6th inning. And some tough bullpen decisions are likely to have to be made in this game. All in all, you'll see this often in baseball with bad teams that a market just doesn't adjust to. And you might also think like, oh, well, if you like this, you got to figure the Jays are going to score, whether it's Harvey or against the bullpen. Just like the same thing with the Angels series, I don't really want to handicap what these Jays bats do, just like the Angels do against this Baltimore starting pitching and bullpen. Again, they'll be fully rested, I guess, so you could put in any of these bullpen arms without issue. But again, the Orioles pen is just a borderline disaster, and I don't want to try to figure out if Toronto's going to get like 6.5 runs, like they're going to be projected in this game, or 6 runs. But overall, I do think the Orioles are going to be live here for 4 runs, 4.5, pending what this number is. I don't like it as I want to be clear. If this does open at 4.5, it's definitely not as much of a play. We'll call it a half U play, but I am very confident this line will open with a team total of 4, and that'll be the play. And look, the Orioles could go stagnant here, but it won't change the fact that they've scored 4 runs or more in 7 of their last 9. Now drawing another lefty, just add to the list who they've mashed all season. To put it into better perspective, in case you don't realize how good they just are versus lefties, many believe the Astros are the best team in baseball versus left-handed pitching with all those big righties. The Orioles, with less than 300 at-bats than the Astros do versus left-handed pitching, have only 4 less home runs. Just a tremendous amount of pop in this Orioles lineup versus lefties. And look, we'll get a Baltimore team who's been piling on base runners getting to verse a susceptible lefty in Steven Matz. Below average pen to follow and 100 degrees of heat. Love the spot. So again, Orioles team total projected over 4 runs minus 110. May the odds be ever in our favor. I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, thumbs up. Create some fake accounts more. Thumbs up. If you did not enjoy, I hope you step on a Lego piece. As always, drop comments below your thoughts in the vid. Let me know who you're betting for tomorrow's slate. I know this vid's coming out early, but kind of changing things up a bit, right? We'll give you, again, a little more perspective from me on early insight and maybe lines that I'm projecting versus what actually comes out, so you can be the judge and jury on how right I am or not. But either way, the comment section's always warm water, folks, so dive on in. Content on this channel lined up all week. NBA, MLB, PGA. There'll even be some Wimbledon. Spread Tyler, DFS crew have you covered with NBA, maybe even splashing tennis vid later in the week. Joey will have MLB vids on Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll be back for Friday. And again, PGA vid tomorrow with the DFS crew. Be sure to check us out, runpurebets.com. See what we're all about. As always, though, folks, be sure to gamble responsibly. Stay safe, and thanks again for watching.